Ever wondered about the intricacies that make poker more than just a game of chance? Welcome to our 10-minute deep dive into the world of poker, where we'll be decoding the rules and strategies that elevate this game to an art form. From understanding the basics to the thrill of the showdown, we're here to take you through it all. So, whether you're a seasoned player or a curious newbie, prepare to see poker in a new light. Dive in as we unravel the rules and strategies of this captivating game. Poker, at its core, is a game of strategy and understanding your opponents. It's a world where a standard deck of 52 cards becomes a battlefield of wits and nerve. Now let's take a step back and understand the basic premise of this game. The objective is simple, either to have the best hand by the end of the round or to convince everyone else to fold their hands before it gets to that point. Sounds easy, right? Well, the beauty of poker lies in its complexity. The game begins with the dealer shuffling and dealing the cards. The dealer's role is crucial, setting the pace of the game and controlling the distribution of cards. After all, the fate of your hand lies in how well the deck is shuffled and dealt. Next, we talk about the order of play. The flow of the game moves in a clockwise direction, starting from the dealer's left. This order of play is fundamental as it influences the player's strategies. If you're one of the first to act, you have less information about what cards others might be holding, making the game that much more challenging. Now, onto the heart of the game, the cards. In poker, it's all about forming the best possible hand. From a royal flush, which is the highest possible hand, to a high card, which is the lowest, the possibilities are numerous. Understanding the ranking of these hands is key to mastering the game. But remember, poker isn't just about the cards in your hand. It's also about reading your opponents, bluffing, and making strategic bets. It's a game of psychology as much as it is of chance. To sum up, poker is a thrilling game that combines strategy, skill, and a bit of luck. It's about understanding the cards, the order of play, the dealer's role, and your opponents. Now that we've got the basics down, let's delve deeper into the game. In poker, the deal and the betting rounds shape the rhythm of the game. Our journey through the world of poker takes us to the heart of the game, the deal and the betting rounds. This is where the magic happens, where strategy meets luck, and where every decision can make or break your game. The deal is the initial distribution of cards to each player. In most poker variants, every player receives 2 private cards, known as hole cards. These cards are the secret weapons in your arsenal, known only to you. They are the foundation of your game, the start of your strategy. Once the hole cards are dealt, the first betting round, often referred to as the pre-flop, begins. This is where the mental gymnastics of poker truly come to play. With your hole cards in hand, you have to decide your next move. Will you fold, stepping back from the game? Or will you check, passing the action to the next player without making a bet? Perhaps you'll decide to make a bet, throwing more chips into the pot. Or maybe you'll call, matching the current bet, or raise, increasing the bet even further. Each of these actions carries weight, influencing the game's direction and your opponent's actions. After the pre-flop, the dealer places 3 community cards face up on the table, known as the flop. Another round of betting follows, then a 4th community card, the turn, is dealt, followed by more betting. The final community card, the river, is then revealed, and the last betting round ensues. All these rounds of betting, interspersed with the reveal of community cards, create a crescendo of tension and strategy as players vie to win the pot. In each betting round, the ability to read the game, gauge your opponents, and make the right decision at the right time is crucial. It's not just about having the best cards, it's about playing them well. Mastering these rounds of betting is key to becoming a formidable poker player. Your journey to poker greatness continues with understanding and mastering these critical stages of the game. When it comes to the end game, understanding the showdown and winning hands can make or break you. Just like the final act of a thrilling movie, Poker's showdown is where all the suspense culminates. It's the moment when the remaining players reveal their cards and we see who's been bluffing and who's been holding the winning hand all along. It's the ultimate test of your poker mettle. The showdown occurs after the final betting round. If there's more than one player left in the game at this point, they must show their hands. The person who made the last bet or raise is the first to show their cards. If there were no bets in the final round, the player to the left of the dealer shows their cards first. This continues clockwise around the table until all remaining players have revealed their hands. Now let's talk about the star of the showdown, the hands themselves. Poker hands have a specific ranking, and understanding this hierarchy is critical to your success. The lowest rank is the high card, which is when your hand doesn't form any specific combination, and the highest card is the deciding factor. Then we have one pair, followed by two pairs, three of a kind, and straight, which is 5 consecutive cards of any suit. Things get even more interesting with a flush, which is 5 cards of the same suit regardless of their order. A full house is next, which is a pair and 3 of a kind in the same hand. 4 of a kind is self-explanatory, and a straight flush is 5 consecutive cards of the same suit. The ultimate hand, the royal flush, is a straight flush that runs from 10 to ace. The pot, that growing pile of chips in the center of the table, goes to the player with the highest ranking hand. If there's a tie, the pot is split among the winners. Knowing the value of poker hands and strategizing accordingly is a crucial part of winning the game. So, keep these rankings in mind, play your cards right, and you might just find yourself in possession of the winning hand at the showdown. Poker isn't just about the rules, it's also about how you play the game. Having a strong grasp of the rules is essential, but it's not the only factor that determines success in poker. A player must also develop and apply effective strategies. Let's dive into some of these strategies. First, we have bluffing. This is a classic poker tactic where you pretend to have a better hand than you actually do. The goal is to scare your opponents into folding their hands prematurely. But beware, an unsuccessful bluff could cost you dearly. The essence of a good bluff lies in understanding your opponents, predicting their moves, and knowing the right time to strike. Observing other players is another key strategy. By paying close attention to the way your opponents play, you can gain valuable insights into their strategies, strengths, and weaknesses. Are they aggressive or cautious? Do they bluff often? These are the kinds of questions you should be asking as the game unfolds. The more you understand about your opponents, the better equipped you'll be to counter their moves. Now let's talk about bankroll management. This is a vital aspect of poker that often gets overlooked. No matter how good you are, you can't win every hand. So it's essential to manage your money wisely. Set a limit for yourself and stick to it. Don't chase losses. It's a surefire way to deplete your bankroll quickly. Instead, focus on playing smart and making the most of the hands you're dealt. In conclusion, poker is a multifaceted game that requires a blend of knowledge, skill, and strategy. The rules provide the framework, but it's your understanding of the game dynamics, your ability to read other players, and your management of your bankroll that will set you apart. Remember, poker is a game of skill and strategy as much as it's a game of chance. So keep these strategies in mind, practice them, and who knows, you might just become the next poker star. We've covered a lot today, but remember, the real learning comes from playing. And that's the truth. Poker, like any craft, demands practice. We've walked through the essentials, from the basics to the showdown, and even touched on key strategies. But all that knowledge needs to be put to use. Let's do a quick recap. We started with understanding the basics of poker. Remember, it's not just about the cards in your hand, but also about how you play them. Then, we delved into the deal and the rounds of betting. Each round is a step closer to victory or defeat, and knowing when to hold 'em and when to fold 'em is crucial. We discussed the showdown and winning hands. The thrill of revealing your cards and claiming the pot is unmatched. But remember, a good poker player knows that not every game ends in a showdown. Sometimes the win is in the fold. We wrapped things up with key points and strategies. Poker is a game of skill and strategy as much as it is of chance. Learning to read your opponents, managing your chips wisely, and knowing when to take risks are all part of the game. So don't just sit there. Poker is a game best learned at the table, not from the sidelines. Whether for fun, to improve your skills, or to challenge yourself, it's time to play. So grab a deck of cards, gather your friends, and start dealing. The poker table awaits.